Hi guys, so today we will continue my Glasspad journey not with one, but two insanely good Glasspads. Here we have the Dysphoria Ren and then we have AbyssGaming Scarlet, or Ruby, depends on who translates it. These both have been quite popular in Asian markets, and the AbyssGaming Scarlet was actually the go-to Glasspad of the notorious Japanese Apex Pro Yuka F for some time. The Scarlet was sold by Max Gaming for one batch previously, and they managed to find one review sample for me, so huge thanks for Max Gaming for providing me the sample for this video. The RIN was a bit trickier to get since I had to buy it from the used market of Taobao using Superbuy, and it was a wild ride, but it arrived safely. Just quite recently Dysphoria announced the details about their global launch that is happening very soon on many retailers, so keep an eye out for that. But first let's talk about the AbyssGaming Scarlet. The Scarlet is sized for 90x420 with a total thickness of around 3mm. The glass portion is 2mm, which leaves 1mm for the custom silicone base, which I will show shortly. The artwork on this gives me vibes of Demon Slayer and Naruto, and it's an original art piece hand drawn by an artist named Washia Zero. The artwork comes through the surface so vividly, so cleanly, and all the edges are just super sharp on the actual design. It's a bit unreal looking sometimes, especially this golden part on the right side. It just kind of jumps through the surface. I really like how this pad looks. The pad came in a pretty standard cardboard box with good padding, and included here were some very nice dot skates from West Labs. We have a set of West Lab Grey, which is an awesome UHMWP skate, and then we have my new favorite, or one of my new favorites, the Westlab Orange. It's just insanely smooth and fast on cloth and glass, and of course we do also have a cleaning cloth included, which is somewhere right now. On the pad we have a very nice comfortable edges that are not like super round, but rather almost like a straight chamfer. It works nicely and makes this pad very comfortable. I'm not really picky about the edges nowadays, since even a slight amount of chamfer makes a huge difference, and yeah, these are really nice. The base is a fully custom silicone base that is just simply fantastic quality. It dampens the sound of the pad, and it also keeps the pad nicely in place. Overall, I would say the build quality on this AbyssGaming Scarlet is just phenomenal. The surface of this pad is interesting. It is the smoothest glass pad I've used to date, while having some very low friction values on both static and dynamic. It is a coated surface that reduces the arm stickiness really well, to a point a sleeve is not so necessary, although I still like to use one for the sake of consistency. So yeah, the arm stickiness is up there with the other pads with minimum stickiness. In my friction measurements, this pad ranked the second fastest, only behind the other pad I'm gonna talk about soon, so Dysphoria Ren. I need to point out, however, that these tests were done right after thoroughly cleaning these pads with some weak dishwashing liquid, and some pads, like this one, are prone to slowing down slightly after some real use due to some sweat and other residue buildup on the pad. There have been some reports about this pad being slower than my results show, which can be from unit to unit variance, which sadly is still a thing with glass pads. The humidity of your room, how clean your pad is, what skates you use, and lots of other things. So all I can say really is that my unit is very fast when clean, and it slows down a bit to a SP005 kind of level after some actual use. Furthermore, I want to say that all those pads faster than the SP005 are going to feel the same-ish, purely speed-wise, and the only differences for perceived speed and accuracy are gonna come from the surface texture and how it suits your needs and aiming style and the weight you put on your mouse, etc. Like, yeah, if you fingertip grip, it will feel a lot different than if you use claw grip. It's just the amount of pressure you put on the mouse affecting things a lot. But yeah, the AbyssGaming Scarlet is a very fast, smooth glass pad with one of the nicest anime artworks I've seen. Okay, then we have the Dysphoria Ren. This pad is available in two color variants, and I have the black one here, which is absolutely stunning. It's 500 times 450 millimeters with a total thickness of just around 2.5 millimeters, with the glass portion being 1.5 millimeters. So pretty much the same measurements as the Mitsuki Yuzui that I liked a lot and still do. The design is also an extremely nice anime style picture. I tried to track down the original artist but couldn't find a name, but please let me know in the comments if you have more info about that. I like the use of green on some highlights, and I think this is such a clean looking colorway to have on my desk. Now, included in the box, which is also a standard cardboard box type of thing with nice padding, are Dysphoria's own manta ray dot skates, which are really nice dots, and a cleaning cloth. On this pad, the edges are also just like super nicely rounded, and I like that even though the pad is so incredibly thin, they still wanted to round the edges. It makes the pad even more comfortable to use, and yeah, I can't feel the edge of this pad pretty much at all. The base is also a fantastic full-on silicone base with a similar suction cup like squares like Wallhack uses on the newer pads, so it pretty much like goes in slightly. But yeah, overall I would say that the pad is just incredibly well made. The surface on the RIN is really interesting, as it's a very textured glass pad. The closest comparison in the surface feel and other aspects also is the Mitsuki Yuzui, but this surface is even more textured than that one. Personally, I am a huge fan of this, and even with the insanely low friction properties of this pad, I've been able to grind click-in scenarios in Kovacs, hit a few high scores in benchmarks, and overall just have had a super nice time in Apex Legends with this one. The surface is coated for that super nice humidity resistance, and this, just like the AbyssGaming Scarlet, belongs to the top tier non-stickiness list. Just very impressive surface if you like more textured glass pads. Based on my friction test, this is the fastest pad I've tried, but like I said previously, all these super fast pads starting from the Yuzui are pretty hard to distinguish from one another purely based on the speed. I can feel a slight difference between the Yuzui and the RIN, but it's such a tiny difference that it has no real effect on how the pad performs in game. The friction is super low, but the texture helps me in the pinpoint accuracy really nicely, which is why I just simply love this pad. So in conclusion, both of the glass pads I talk about are just insanely high quality, speedy glass pads with very different surface smoothnesses. My go-to from these is going to be the Dysphoria Ren, just for the fact it has a rougher texture that I have found to help me land more shots when I'm not that locked in on that particular day. The AbyssGaming Scarlet is just amazing for someone who wants the ultimate smoothness and very impressive surface clarity for that artwork to pop out. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes open for both of these to restock somewhere, and I can 100% recommend both of these. Yeah, thanks for watching and see you on the next one. Goodbye.